YNA is a podcast that focuses on mental health and other aspects relating to what goes on inside of a person's head. We are by no means professionals in this field and only aim to make these conversations about mental health easier for the listener. Nothing we say or talk about is professional advice unless explicitly mentioned. If you seek professional advice or experience symptoms of an actual mental disorder, please contact a professional or visit your closest center for behavioral health. You are not alone.
What's up, guys? Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you're looking for more of our content and merch information, be sure to check us out at ynamentalhealth.org. Keep an eye out for our skits and upcoming episode information. Feel free to reach out to us on IG. Our DMs are always open. And please remember, you're not alone.
Hello. Welcome back to YNA Mental Health. My name is Sina.
My name is Marcus Rios. I'm a local bodybuilder from the Crystal Lake area. I'm a competitor in men's physique and classic physique, as well as I do some coaching too. I'm nationally qualified in both of those divisions. We'll see about if I want to go to nationals this year, maybe next year, but long-term goal of this is I would like to one day get my pro card. And as I said before, I also coach some individuals too. This is something that I'm passionate about. I love doing. I love helping other people, get a hold of this lifestyle. So if you want to follow my journey or some of my clients' journeys that I post about, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Marcus Rios 8, and you can see more of me there and some of my clients.
So like we said, this is YNA Talks, and Marcus is on the spotlight. He's going to give a lot more in depth about his own mental health through his own experience with bodybuilding and how you can change your mindset with everything that you've got going on, especially if you're a beginner, if you want to get into bodybuilding, or even if you're just somebody in the gym dealing with difficult mental health. So we got to ask you, Marcus, the first question is, what does mental health mean to you, and how do you take care of yours?
Mental health to me has recently taken on kind of a new standpoint for myself. Growing up in high school, things like that, I grew up in a family with older brothers, mostly male influences. And I think it's kind of common to have, especially at that younger age, the, masculinity viewpoint where mental health or any of your emotions is something that you kind of bury down, when it starts to come up, you don't want to bring it up, talk to anybody about it. So you suppress it down. And, the past few years of my life, I kind of realized that that's not healthy because no matter what, those emotions that you're feeling, they're going to manifest themselves in other ways throughout your life. Something for me recently that really made me understand that was this past year. So I recently graduated from college. I got a degree in aerospace engineering. And in my mind, I had this whole plan of what was next for me, what was going to come next. Kind of had my whole life, laid out in front of me. Exactly. And then, with COVID and things like that, finding my career in that degree area, like I just wasn't having any luck. And I just kind of started like questioning like what I'm doing and things like that. And I found, other jobs in other places, but in the back of my mind, there's always these emotions where I felt like I wanted to be doing something more. But I wasn't really diving in that. I wasn't thinking about it. I'll just suppress it back because I'm like, I don't have problems. I'm like middle class in the suburbs. I got a girlfriend, great family, all that. And so I wouldn't validate any of these feelings that I was having, but then they started to manifest themselves in other ways. And I started to have like anxiety attacks and things like that. And I talked to a friend of mine and she kind of explained to me that a lot of times those anxiety attacks come up because there's something going on that you're not dealing with. And I realized that she was right because it was exactly that, I have these expectations and my life isn't going the way it wanted to, but I was like, no, it's fine. I'm doing fine. Things are going to be okay. And I just wasn't, really thinking about why was I feeling that way. And it's always going to find a way to creep up to the surface.
So what have been some negative moments you can recall when it comes to your mental health with bodybuilding?
So there's a couple that come to my mind right off the bat. Something that's positive is kind of, I explained before, is, holding a lot of things inside and all my emotions, whatever I'm feeling. I'll come to the gym, and that was like kind of my cathartic release for everything I was feeling inside, all that emotion, whatever. I would just let it out through my efforts in the gym, moving that weight, that strain, put the music on, zone out. Then after, I feel like all of that inside of me was just drained out, and I felt a lot better. Got to release it all. And another positive too is, what kind of made me fall in love with competing and things like that is when I'm prepping for a show, it's like every day supercharged with purpose. Every meal, every workout, everything I do is planned out, and it's all for one goal. So each thing that I do is putting me one step closer to my goal. And that just makes every day feel special and unique when I really put it all towards one thing. And I think that's kind of what got me addicted to this whole thing. Because if there's times when, I'm kind of feeling in a little bit of a slump, once I start, my mind just flips a switch and it's kind of just go time.
So, Marcus, we got to ask you, are you closer or further from a positive body image than before you started working out?
So overall, I would definitely say that I'm closer. I mean, like anyone else, I think that your standards adjust. And being a competitor, I like being lean and the look that I produce when it comes to that. But overall, definitely closer to a positive body image. It's at the end of the day, I think a lot of people do this for health, but then also too, me, it really helped me with my confidence in general. It's become part of my identity of who I am. And having that a powerful thing, I think. And don't get me wrong, like it's nice to, I guess the vanity side of it, if you're like, oh, I got abs, whatever. Everyone loves that. Don't get me wrong, but it's really created a more positive image in my mind because people started to come to me for advice and help. And that's when I really started to understand that, that's what really gave me the confidence. Realized that I was doing something. So when people were asking me for advice and I was able to help them, like I said, I'm a coach now. So when I get to help people because of what I've done and what I've achieved, that's what really boosted up my own positive body image. Not so much the actual vanity side of it, but it's like I've done this, and now because of that, I'm able to help people, and they come to me for help, and that's a really powerful feeling. And be able to put my knowledge on them and help them is something that it just makes me feel so good now when I can see people change and develop themselves because of what I've influenced on them or advice I gave them. It's a really great thing to see.
Well, Marcus, welcome to my time machine. We're going to jump in the past and then jump in the future. Kind of tell us what you would want to tell yourself in the past and what you would like to see in the future.
So for the past, if I could go back and give myself a piece of advice, I think there would be two big things. Number one is kind of understand that things aren't always going to go according to plan.
Right.
That comes to smaller goals in your life and also the larger trajectory. Mm-hmm. Have a plan, have goals for sure, strive to hit them, but don't beat yourself up too much if you're not hitting and things are just going not exactly the way you want. First of all, you're going to learn a lot through those adversities. You're going to adapt, and you're still going to find new ways to try to strive to those other goals that you have.
Learn through your failures.
Exactly. That's a big part of it, is just not losing hope even if things aren't going right. That's something that I've learned more recently. This past year, my career, graduating college, things like that, things haven't exactly been going the way I had planned.
Right.
But each day I'm still trying to do everything I can to hit those goals, even though things aren't going right. You got to roll with the punches and keep getting after it. And I think the other thing that I would tell myself, this kind of comes with this whole social media thing, kind of going back to the mental health of a lot of aspects, is don't worry so much about what others are doing. I did my first show when I was 19. I won it, and I got my national qualification. And at that time, I saw all these influencers, young bodybuilders making it big. They're going to nationals, winning the pro card, getting all these followers, just the millions of dollars. In my mind, I'm like, next year, win my pro card, see you guys in my Lambo.
The fuel.
Exactly. And then, but you realize is that everybody's path is different, and that when you constantly compare yourself to other people, don't get me wrong. I'm not a person, I believe, because I'm competitive, I'll look at other people, I'll compare myself, because it'll drive me to want to do better. I want to beat that person.
Of course.
I think I'm better than them. I have confidence in my abilities. But don't judge your own success based on another person's level of success. It's
big Marcus quote right here.
Everyone's doing their own thing, and it's so hard with social media right now. I know everyone out there, I know that you've done it. I've done it a million times, and I still do it, and I still tell myself not to do it. And we see so many young people that, especially we're in our 20s.
Yeah.
They're fucking huge following, making millions, doing all this. They're sweet vacations, partying all the time, hot chicks,
Got the
whatever.
life, got the life, yeah.
Or the significant other that's just like, you know, power couple, whatever.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, first of all, you know, that's not always success. They're going to have their own problems, just like you are. You know, no matter how high, they're going to have their own problems. Another thing is, too, is that I think people, they're in too big of a rush. And that's how I've been, too, in the beginning. You know, when I was 19, I'm like, I'm getting my pro card when I'm 20, 21. I'm going for college right now, but I'm never going to work that job. I'm just going to be pro. I'm going to get all these followers, and that's all I'm going to do. But, you know, you got to realize there's a lot of time ahead. You know, you could take your 20s and not do a single fucking thing right. Fuck it all up. Be in your 30s and realize you still have a lot of time. In your 30s, even your 40s, there's people, you know, in their 40s, they're just now hitting their big success, you know, all that. Realizing that you still have time, not comparing yourself to other people. Do what you can right now and just focus on doing better than what you've done. Not what other people do, better what you've done so far. Focus on doing that. And I think that's a great pathway to success and your own success. At the end of the day, your own success, not other people's, your own pathway.
We're
and that's, I
completely
think, is
different
important.
pages and chapters in the world. Like,
exactly.
Ourselves to each other is not going to help.
And you might be ahead of someone else. You might be behind someone else.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It's your life, not theirs. So just keep going at your own pace and just, you know, do the best you can. I think at the end of the day, all you can do is all you can do.
Facts. Do the best you can.
Yep.
So, Marcus, now we got a scenario. You haven't seen any results in all the hard work you've been putting in. It seems like things are not changing. How do you react, and what do you tell yourself to help better your mental health?
Honestly, this is kind of something I'm going through right now. So it's a really good question, actually. So I recently just had surgery, and a big part of that is obviously time away from the gym. And I kind of had a different viewpoint of where I'd be this time of the season, my weight, my look, whatever. And I think the biggest thing that you could do, or even if you're a beginner, you know, you're getting after it, you're doing your best, and you're not seeing the results that you were thinking that you would be seeing, is remember why you started. And I think that will give you the energy to keep and the motivation to keep moving forward. Realize that, you know, no matter what you're doing in life, it's never just going to be a linear line trending straight up. There's going to be ups and downs. So you got to understand that you got to have a reason why you're doing things that you're doing, whether it be working out or things like that. You got to understand that there's going to be tough times, but if you have that why, that's, you know, if it's lifting, working out, for me, why I started in the first place was because, like I said, had a lot of emotional tension built up and I needed to release it, you know, and times when I really just think about when I'm competing, how I need to look and all things like that, I find myself in my workouts they slip back a little bit. They're not as intense. They're not as powerful, meaningful. I'm not getting a good pump. I'm not zoned in like you used to. My mind's wandering. But when I go and have a workout, I remember why I started, which for me was just going in there, getting after it, just releasing all that energy, doing what I can. Those are the best workouts. You just got to zone out, remember why you're doing this, and then just keep getting after it in that direction. And so it sounds kind of corny, but I mean, if you're going through a tough time, like, you just can't give up just like that. You know what I mean? Every time you hit a hurdle, you just give up. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, you know, like you're never gonna succeed in any of your goals. They're never gonna be easy, just one and done. So you got to figure out why you're doing it. Think of that. You know, if you need some time off, take the time off. Refocus yourself, but just think of why you're doing it. Maybe, you know, if your why isn't as strong anymore, maybe you find a new why, or maybe, you know, people change. Maybe you have a new goal that you can start striving for. So I think just really, when things are going right, look inside and then just keep pushing. Remember your why, and that'll get you through it.
All right, Marcus, we're coming to the end of your spotlight. Is there anything else you want to say, any advice or anything you want to promote?
Yeah, so, you know, what I'd like to let everyone know is going back to the whole mental health while we're having this conversation is, you know, don't be afraid to look into your own mental health.
Right.
You know, no matter what you're doing, you know, don't be afraid to talk to people. Don't be afraid to open up about it. I know it could be a scary thing to be a little bit vulnerable, but, you know, no matter who you are, if someone, you know, is on their path to success, they got everything in the world, I know they for sure have some stuff going on inside too. Even the littlest issues, still take a look at those things. Don't just let all these things brush by, because it will pop up. And, you know, understand too, the whole name of the show is like, you're not alone, you know?
Not alone.
The reason we're doing these talks is to put spotlight on different people, different places in their lives, different things that they're doing.
Yeah. different
everyone's
experiences.
gonna have issues. Everyone's gonna have things with mental health, and no matter who you are, you can't get away from it. And just realize that you need to address it, look at it. Don't be afraid to open up. There's people here for you. There's advice. People like yourself, putting out good information. I'm a bodybuilder. I get a lot of, I'm sure a lot of people think on the outside I'm like big tough guy, whatever, holding things inside, but it's not true at all. No matter who you are, what you're doing, everybody's got their problems. So just don't be afraid to get it. Take a look inside, figure out what it is, and do what you need to do, and you're gonna be better for it in the end. And top that off, got to do shameless self promotion. I'm a coach, so if anyone's looking for some help to get going on their own fitness path, whatever, contact me on Instagram at Marcus Rios 8. I'm also a bodybuilder, so if you want to follow my journey, anything like that, or the whole thing with this, if you got issues, you could reach out to me, reach out to people like Zena. You're not alone. There's other people here to help. So to everyone out there, just keep doing you, keep striving, doing your best. Remember, all you can do is all you can do. The best you can do is the best you can do. So that's it.
Marcus, we really appreciate you coming out, giving us some mental health information on bodybuilders, just what you've been through, your experiences. It really means a lot, and I bet you are going to help a lot of people out there. So thank you for being on the spotlight. And please, please, please remember, you are not alone. We'll catch you on the next episode. Deuces.